Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Angela Shows You. Um, I'm not going to show a craft today, but what I wanted to actually come on and talk about was I'm hoping that maybe, I can just warn people. So something happened to one of my family members earlier this week, and I wanted to share this because it's a scam. But someone in my family got a phone call, a courtesy call, uh, saying, that there was court fees that were due, and there was a warrant out for their arrest. And the caller was said, um, you can pay you can pay this money, which was over $3,000. And they said then the court, the debt will be satisfied, and the warrant will go away and all will be good again. And of course the person panicked and was like, oh my gosh, how did I miss that? I don't remember getting anything in the mail. And the caller was like, maybe you threw it away on accident. Like they had just, had all these answers. You need to know. We I did some research too, um after the call. The caller told my family member that Apple Pay and Zelle are approved payment methods over the phone for the county. And I just immediately thought, I mean, I know personally, if I owed, my county money, like I would want to write a check, write a check to the county. That way, like I get well, not that we get return check, you know, you used to get checks back. I'm probably going to date myself here, but you used to get in your bank statement every month, the bank used to send you all the checks that had come in that they cashed, that they paid, out of your account for you. Now, like you can go online and you can click on the check number and it shows you an image of the check, who you made it out to, and whatnot. But like that would make me feel comfortable. Is no, if I'm gonna do something, even like, okay, so the Department of Motor Vehicles is like county, it's by county. So even when you're paying for, like your license renewal, or if you're getting your learner's permit, like they have their own payment processing system. You're not paying your license renewal fee to Apple Pay or, Google Pay, or like whatever kind of phone you have. You're going on to a secure payment processing system that your county uses. So we did a little bit of research. I was online and I'm looking, and this is a known scam. So this is what I want to, just warn. I just want to share. Don't everything. I read multiple things and they all said your county, the police will never call you and ask you for money. it'll come through a letter. Just like the IRS, they've said over and over and over again, they won't call you. You get a letter in the mail, you get a bill, you get a letter in the mail. Now, with my crafting, I have a small business because I had to get a tax, in order to do some of the craft shows, I have to have a tax ID number. So I'll get an email once a year and they say it's time to file your small business taxes. And then if I owe money, like I do it right online through their payment portal. Nobody ever calls me and says, "Hey, your taxes are $52. What's your debit card number?" No. So I hope that and if you don't, you do now. So the scam is court fees, or they tell you that you were supposed to report for jury duty and you didn't. Okay, if you don't report for jury duty, you don't get a fine. But the thing is, these scammers, they scare people. That's their tactic. They scare you. Nobody wants to get arrested and go to jail. So they scare you into thinking you missed something, and and they're pushy. They have that sense of urgency. Pay now and your arrest warrant will go away. So please just know that that's a scam. And honestly, there's so many scams going on right these days anyway, that even if something was legit, any reasonable person would understand the hesitation. But everything that I've read online and the emails that I've received, like the credit card company or my bank, a representative will never call you and ask you what your PIN number is. They'll never ask you what your phone, what your password is for your, logon credentials. They'll never call you and ask you for money. And please go to, whatever Google or whatever, platform you research things on, and you can look this up. Please do. Like I typed in a couple different phrases. I typed in, is Zelle or Apple Pay an approved payment method for the county? Which that you kind of have to work on the phrasing to get the results that you want, because at first I typed in something else with Apple Pay and I got all these places that accept Apple Pay, and I'm like, no, that's not what I'm wanting to know. And then I typed in scam, jury duty, Zelle or Apple Pay or whatever, and that's where I really started seeing all these articles, and their police stations, warning, I typed in my county, which actually I didn't even realize it at first. I had typed in my county and I actually got my county in a different state. But I mean, the info holds true no matter where you live. These government agencies. So I just wanted to share this experience, and I don't want to see anybody fall victim to a scam. And that reminded me of a few years ago, my mom had called me and she wanted to know where my son was. He happened to be sitting right next to me that day. And I said, he's sitting right here next to me. And she happened to be at my grandmother's apartment. And my grandmother had got a phone call from my son saying that he was in trouble and he needed bail money. And he you know, he didn't want to call me and ask me. So he called my grandmother. And my mom said it sounded just like him. And I said, we're together. I said, I've been with my son for like the last 2 hours. I said, but he's sitting right next to me. He's not in trouble. He's not out of the state or out of the country. I said, he doesn't need bail money. It was a scam. They're calling, you know, grandma saying, hey, I'm in trouble. You know, I need bail money. Can you help me? And like they play on grandma. Like what grandma's not going to help their grandchild, right? And they get people that way, or they scare them saying you got these fees or a missed jury duty or something, and you know if you don't pay this right now, they're gonna come knocking on your door and handcuff you and drag you off to jail. They got that urgency and the scare tactic to get you. Don't let that happen to you. And please, please share this information with other people, because I don't want to see anybody get taken advantage of and get ripped off by these losers taking advantage of people and scaring people into thinking that bad things are going to happen to them when they're not. So I hope that you will like this video, just for the information content, you know, and let me know, like in the comments, please let me know, has anything like that ever happened to you? Either one of the scenarios, has anything like that ever happened to you, or somebody that you know? Like what are other, you know, please share with other people who might watch this and read the comments, other things that like we need to know or be on the, you know, the hear out, the lookout for, you know, because I'm sure that none of us want to see anybody get taken for our hard-earned money, you know, because I think, unfortunately, I don't know how often people get their money back. And I don't want to see anything like that happen. So please like this video, share this information so that people know, you know, about these scams that are going on. I'll see you next time. Take care.